So, I don't know, as a coach, what signs do you look for today in practice that the group is understanding the situation after last night and responding properly?
Well, first of all, I think there's been a lot of communication. Coaches sharing what they see, but also players sharing with the coaching staff what they see and where they need a little more clarity in what they're doing when they're on the ice. So, I think that's a strong part of it. And then I liked the enthusiasm on the ice. There wasn't much talk, but I thought there was a lot of focus and everyone was working hard. And, it's everybody is frustrated, absolutely. But definitely not. I've seen teams that are struggling, that give up hope, make it a little more difficult on themselves. But, there's frustration, but there is still that confidence.
So, we don't see you that often pull ice time back from some of your top guys. We don't, using ice time is kind of that. Is the standard high enough, Kris? Like, it's been a lot of talk about mistakes over and over and similar things. And as a coach, is the standard high enough for the guys that get run out there?
No, absolutely not. The standard has not been high enough. And, my time here, we have, there's obviously been mistakes. I think guys have picked up and learned from their mistakes, whether it's been some talk, some coaching, whatever it was. But right now, as long as it's gone on, things have not been, the standard hasn't been upheld well enough. And now that we've played as many games as we have, that standard definitely has to be increased. And it can't be just on, they'll get it next time, they'll figure it out. And it's right through the lineup, whether it's our fourth line guys or top line guys. The expectation is for everyone to be better. And, that starts with myself and holding guys accountable, because things haven't progressed like they have in previous years where, we've gone through a poor stretch and things improved. But right now things haven't improved, so that's been accountability.
You've talked about how it's not necessarily, you don't think it's the right way to handle players, the fire and brimstone, yelling and hollering and berating guys and all that. You have your style for sure. What's the right way when when that's not necessarily going to be there, it's not going to be through, boisterous motivation and such, like what's the right way for you to get what you need from them then?
Players just have to hear that, individually, that's one way, but also in the room. Players got to know that what's a play on a certain goal against, a chance against, a shift is not acceptable. And, you don't have to belittle them, you don't need to embarrass them, but just that player knows and the team knows that is not good enough for our team, that standard is not high enough, and we have to be better.
The team has struggled the previous couple of years, but was able to kind of pull themselves out of it. You get this mentality that, it'll come and we'll just pull it out of it, but you have to have a bit more, I guess, urgency as opposed to just...
There's urgency. There's, and not to say that we haven't had urgency and we just continue to say it's going to play itself out, and it's not that we've not tried to improve our defensive zone coverage or our forecheck or how we're scoring goals. Or, we've always seen things that we need to get better at, and we've addressed those. Now, how we've addressed it, and maybe we need to be a little more direct, a little more forceful, and a little more accountability. So, we need to alter how we've addressed things. It's worked out really well the previous 2 years, but this year, like I said, this is the longest stretch of us not playing hockey that I've seen. So you have to look back and think, evaluate how we've handled things.
You guys lost, pretty experienced guy with lots of gamesmanship in Corey Perry. Is gamesmanship something that, and a lack of it, something that is, holding this group back from finding ways back into games and finding ways to push back? What would you say about your group and their gamesmanship?
We could definitely have some more of that, and whether that's you know, a fight or a scrum after a whistle or whatever it is, just maybe distracting the team from getting off of their game, but also being able to create a little more energy for our team. And there's certain guys that I think can do that, but you know, it's not just up to one or two or three guys. You know, collectively, I think everyone can step up in that department.
So even for players who maybe haven't hung their hat on that or don't make it a regular part of what they do day to day, when you're in a situation like this, is it expected that everybody will take a bigger piece of that?
There's you know, there's a fine line of you know, obviously with Connor and Leon playing their role, that, you know, we don't want to add something like that to their.
More guys, I guess I should say, rather
The
than
more guys, yeah, not everybody, but there's more guys that can do that, and I know there's some guys that have done it in the past and have probably got away from it. So it's important that they get back to their identity, and how do they get back to their identity is, one, you know, the coaching staff being very clear of what's expected from them, and if they play to that identity, how much they can help our team.
I just want to ask you about the importance of tomorrow night now. You're going on a 7-game road trip after this to come back and with a good effort and try to flush Saturday night.
Yeah, well, absolutely. We have to put that behind us, and that road trip is going to be a grind. Like, it doesn't get much harder than that. Playing the quality teams and the amount of travel in the amount of games that we're playing, that's about as difficult as it gets. It'd make it a lot nicer to have a win going out on the road, but also just playing the right way. Like, the process is very important. It's not just the results. And yes, you need wins to make playoffs and move up the standings. But right now, the focus is on doing things the right way.
So, go ahead, no, Tony. So it sounds like post-game last night, like Connor as the captain is going to have his say from time to time. You know, on the ice today, there's a strong conversation with him and Boosh. Like, are you seeing the group doing what it can to regulate itself, and there should be some frustration creeping in?
There's frustration, but there's also conversation. I think the worst part of fighting or just animosity is when partners don't talk, you know, or a team doesn't talk. And right now, because when nobody's talking, no one knows exactly what anybody's thinking about. Right now there's communication, which I appreciate. And yeah, somebody's frustrated, they should be frustrated. But we're not going to grow and get past it if everyone's silent. And I like that everyone is talking, whether it's been in the dressing room, in our meetings, or even on the ice. It's good to have that. But we also, show some of that frustration out on the other team also.
Kris, just confirming that it was a maintenance day for Nugent-Hopkins.
Yes.
And are Janmark or Hyman, either of those available tomorrow?
There's a good chance Janmark is playing and Hyman will not.
And do you have an update on Kapanen as well?
Kapanen, we are looking at about December 1st.
December